Jeez, that was abrupt. Anyway, hello everybody, and welcome to the show where, after the AEW Collision Rampage Dynamite Wreckage, we sift through.
The wreckage. You stepped on it, Jimmy. You
I
stepped on
know.
it.
I literally fucked that up. I was gonna do this. The Wreckage.
Oh boy,
I totally screwed it up, but
Jimmy's got a new toy, so
right, and
we're gonna have a bunch of audio issues. Let me ask you: were there supposed to be music playing for that first minute?
Oh, you didn't hear any music?
Nope.
Oh, that's strange. There should have been.
Well, I don't know if the people heard it, but I couldn't hear it.
Oh, that's bizarre, man.
The people.
The people. Tell me in the chat if you guys heard the music. If you didn't, I'd like to know, because then I can troubleshoot in the future. Because I thought I was playing music, hence why the wait. But I was trying to do it via my roadcaster. But I guess it is what it is. And that light behind me is annoying the hell out of me.
Looks like an episode of TNA back there. With all
turn the lights off, right?
These lights.
I'll turn that off in a moment. But before we get into it, Vet, how you been, man? How's things?
Oh man, well, after last week we ended on we ended our wreckage on a cliffhanger of like, well, how are they going to deal with the attempted murders and everything like that? This is going to be an exciting week coming up, and I kind of feel like they really pulled it back afterwards.
Pull it back. Dude, how do you go, like you just said it yourself, how do you go from attempted murder, literally, to now everybody wants to face this guy, and we'll get to that in a moment. But dude, even the whole and like I said, we'll get into it as we get there, but even the whole way of Darby and Moxley, even like that match and how it got made, was just silly in itself when you really think about it. But I'll give you my actual opinion on that when we get there. But just a lot of this shit that is kind of silly, kind of lazy, shall I say. At least put some more effort into this. If you're going to do some sort of angles like that, put some effort. You don't just do something like that and then that's it. We're just going to go and find out if he's in condition to wrestle anybody.
You got everybody talking about plastic bags as cinder blocks, and they even, I'm not going to say like it could just be a coincidence, but the Dynamite numbers went up. So you're talking about you're all the people talking at least moved something in a positive direction, but if they tuned in to watch, I don't know if they're going to continue to watch. I mean, we'll sift through it, of course. But that's the issue. We got one company doing too much, and we got one company not doing anything at all. We got which is WWE. We got TNA, who's riding the back of WWE right now to any sort of relevance through their developmental brand. You got other companies that are just struggling to get noticed. Who's talking about NWA right now? Who's talking about MLW right now? New Japan fell the hell off a cliff. Like, everybody's got their own sort of issues. The only difference is the one company that's not doing absolutely jack shit of fuck all is the WWE, and they're raking it in right now. And the people seem happy to be there. They seem happy to work there. They seem happy to buy a ticket to go there. And what are they even doing? They're not doing anything. They're just putting on matches that are at least as uninteresting as the ones we see on Collision and Dynamite every week. But yet the people are just going out of their minds for it. So it really does go to show you how people can mark out for stuff if you present it in a way that makes them feel like they're having fun. So, one company looks like they're having fun and the people are having fun. The other company's busting their ass and people seem to be caring a little bit less by the week and by the month and by the year. They're spending more money on it. They're getting less return. All anybody wants to talk about is the TV deal, which, since when do we ever talk about TV deals in pro wrestling until this year? But now we talk about it every single week. When was the last time we talked about it? We were asking WWE, when are you guys going to announce your TV deal?
Never. But you know what's funny? Everybody that's talking about the ratings has got to stop doing it, man. You're the one that woke me up to it initially. And then I thought about it. How the fuck does ratings really matter anymore? Honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. And I'll say
not to
why.
us. It doesn't matter to us. The people that are talking about it, yeah.
The networks, it definitely does. But what I mean by that, and I want to clarify, is that WWE is doing record numbers right now in terms of money, profits. You know, I mean, they're selling out buildings again. How can anybody tell us that they're not successful because they're only doing 1.5 to 2 million a week? Well, the papers say otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So we should probably back away from that a little more. And all of us are guilty of it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as much of a big deal as people like to think it is. Because I mean, at the end of the day, sure, with AEW it matters. They need TV, obviously. You know what I mean? So it's not about the ratings more so. It's just the facts for them. They need television. As long as they're still on television, they're safe. But the way we all go about it, including myself, I was one of those guys, and then you woke me up to it, Vet, and I thought about it. You know what I mean? I thought, fuck, what am I complaining? If you look at the bigger picture, it seems like professional wrestling is in a pretty healthy place right now. Now we can say AEW is losing money and whatnot, and sure, I'm sure they are. You can't have all these fat contracts and just seeing what the attendances are week in, week out, and surely you think you're making money. You can't be. But then again, these professional wrestling, they say the first 10 years in the business you ain't making no money. It took WCW 20 years to make something. Think about it, and it was just as quick as they made a dime. They lost everything after 2 years later.
That's true. And well, it's like the old joke, like, how do you become a millionaire in the wrestling business? Start out as a billionaire. So we may actually get to see that joke come true in real time. Who knows? But I mean, that's the thing. It's like if you would expect by the business that the WWE is doing that if the business is anything to go by, their ratings should be doing 3s and 4s and 5s, and they're doing Dynamite debut numbers on Raw. They're doing 1.3s, 1.4s, like the ratings are going down. SmackDown did like a 1.9 or something like that, like recently, but you watch the show and people are going bananas. So obviously what it really means is that live TV watching is going down,
right?
But interest in wrestling is not going down. It's just that people don't need to sit there when the schedule tells them to watch a show for 2 or 3 hours and then go on about their day watching all those commercials at the same time, right? They can just catch up on clips later. They can just go through social media and see the results or whatever. They don't need to see the whole show, and then that's enough. And then when the show comes to their town, they go buy a ticket.
Well, and that's the thing, and it's the way people consume, stuff completely differently to the way we used to consume it back then. Like back in the day, if you didn't have cable television, right, you weren't watching professional wrestling unless it was free, like a SmackDown on UPN when it first started, or Saturday Night's Main Event back in the day. You just couldn't watch it unless you had cable television, right? Or you went to the video store, but that was behind. You're a couple months behind if you went to Blockbusters or something. But the point is, the way people consume is completely different. And if you look at the numbers on social media, there's some things that get millions, like certain segments. I mean, millions, way more than what people have tuned in every Monday, Friday nights, and Saturdays and whatnot.
Right.
That alone tells me, like, if people are tuning in by the millions on social media, and I'm sure a lot of people watch it illegally. On top of that, we're seeing WWE's doing record figures worldwide. AEW sure has gone a little back, right? But that's their own. They did that to themselves. I'm sure if they were actually smart about certain things when it comes to business, that will be on the right path too. It's all it takes for them is just to get back on the right path. But my point is, wrestling seems healthy as ever. I mean, look at GCW, dude. I mean, they seem to be doing well, and I can't stand their way of doing, what they do. But it is what it is, right? indies are not as healthy as they were, say, during the New Japan sort of hot run, if you know what I mean. During that time, I felt like the New Japan brought up the whole indie scene around the world up in many ways. When you think about it, dude, I mean, during that time, people were very interested. Even NXT, to an extent, also brought up that indie sort of hype and hot streak. Around between 2014 and 2018, say, around that point. Things can be better, of course, but I think things are pretty healthy right now when it comes to the big leagues. Other than AEW, unfortunately, New Japan can't be making that much cash right now, and TNA. I mean, they're on a bit of a renaissance right now on the back of WWE, like you said.
Yeah, but it's a bit.
Yeah,
it's only a bit of a renaissance. But that's the other thing too. It's like we only talk about United States ratings. Right. You guys have your own television, your own ratings, and we don't talk about the Australian ratings for WWE or AEW. No one ever talks about that. Right. But clearly they have deals in place that they get paid for. Absolutely. Anywhere that you're broadcasting your program, they have to pay a fee to have the exclusive licensing for that broadcast. So but nobody wants to talk about those deals too. Like there's income coming in for everybody, but people only have narrow focus, and it just goes to show you the larger picture as far as not just wrestling, but if you just look at the way the entire world processes information, it seems that the only information is filtered through somebody's agenda. Wherever you're going to get your information, whether you think it's an unbiased source, but there's always some agenda in place, and people will take information out of context to prove a point. So it's up to everyone to have a broader perspective of what's going on in the world and in their own life. Like you were talking about just a second ago, you were talking about back in the day when you had to be there for Saturday night's main event. Like that's on late night. We got to watch Saturday night's main event. It's on at this time, on Saturday, and we got to watch it, right? Otherwise, if you can't watch it live, then you have to set your VCR. Now, Jimmy, I'm sure you have programmed a VCR to record something when you weren't going to be able to be home to watch it, right?
Absolutely. I used to tape everything wrestling related back in the day.
And it was and it was a lot more difficult to do that than say like a TiVo or a DVR, where you just click the box and it's like, yes, record this. No, the VCR, you had to figure out what time it was going to be on. You had to put that time into your VCR. You had to do all this. Okay, so you did that, right? Now, how many of your other friends that you knew that watch wrestling, how many of them were even capable of programming a VCR?
Not many. I was always into that type of stuff. So yeah, not many at all, dude. I was the one that was switched on from a pretty young age.
Most people were like, "Hey, if I miss it, cool. I'll catch it next time." And if you're there to watch it, you're there. No one ever has to worry about anything like that anymore. You can cherry pick exactly what you want to catch up on. And like I said before, the way that companies, we talked about this, I think last week, if you want to benefit your network partners, then you have to limit your social media clips to just small clips, because you want people to say, hey, if you want to see this whole thing, you got to tune into USA Network Live or TBS Wednesday night, or, don't put a whole 28 minute ass segment on your social media, keep those clips small to try to get more people to watch it live. It may not work, but it's better than just giving it away. I mean, you don't owe the people anything. You don't owe them a full segment. So, just give them a taste and then let them come and buy the whole meal whenever the circus comes to town, so to speak.
Well, that brings me to the last question before we move on, because this is a great start actually to the show, even though this wasn't actually planned, but I like how we went straight to it. Well, that's the thing. Now that brings me to the Netflix deal, right? What would be Netflix's expectations with Raw, say, moving forward? Because I think WB, because you made me think of this, the fact that WB put out full segments all the time, right? for free everywhere.
Mhm.
It makes me think that maybe maybe the expectation is not to really have millions by the millions to tune in, right? You know what I mean? I mean, because like you said, if they were wanting to, raise the bar in terms of the ratings, you shouldn't do that at all. Like you shouldn't even do it. You should just put little cliffhangers or stills like they used to back in the day. Remember, like every time you'd miss a pay-per-view, it'd be black and white, on Raw the next night, or like because of blood or whatnot. But they're always stills, right? They were just stills of what happened and what you missed, and you should get it on demand. Like tomorrow, you catch the replay of the pay-per-view, all the time. There used to be numbers even with that alone, dude. But then again, WWE changed the model in terms of how we watch things in some ways. And that, in a way, has probably screwed up a lot of things, even in wrestling and other things in terms of pay-per-view, because, WWE put their so-called pay-per-views pretty much next to $0, next to nothing.
Mm. Well, I understand what, like, here in the chat, for example, Revamp Wrestling is saying that people don't care about cable shows and most people use pirate sites. Well, I know that. I've been saying that to you guys.
Right,
all I'm telling you is the only measures and steps that the companies can take. I'm not telling you that it's going to turn anything around. I'm not going to say every pirate is going to just immediately start watching cable. I'm not saying that. The idea is to get people who have cable and aren't watching the show. Maybe if you tell them that Monday Night Raw is exciting, that they'll watch Monday Night Raw. It's not so much about trying to convert anyone that's already used the internet for everything. I'm not talking about that, but you guys know that because I'm the one that's telling you. I think everybody that watch it, I think all the numbers that Raw and AEW and every other cable show or even SmackDown gets is just because old people fall asleep in front of the television. I don't think it has anything to do with anybody really wanting to watch those, So
absolutely.
So I mean, yeah. So I understand what you're saying, but like I'm also saying that I'm just telling you, like, if you're like WWE, for example, or like with the Netflix thing, it's just to show that you're making the effort, that you want people to watch your product in the moment, the same way the NFL wants you to watch the game. The NFL does not want you to watch the top 10 plays. NFL wants you to watch the whole game so that the advertisers that pay them millions of dollars for their spots can sell you their products, and you have to sit there and watch it. That's what the NFL wants you to do. They know that some people aren't going to do it. They know that some people are going to stream football. They know that some people are going to steal football with the internet. They know that, but they still want you to watch the game live, and WWE should think no differently. AEW should think no differently. They should want you to want to watch the live show because they have a live show. Otherwise, why is it live? Why don't you just tape it and show it later at any time? You tape a house show and say it's Monday Night Raw and just show it on Monday. Absolutely. If you have a live show, that's because you're trying to emulate live sports, and you need to do whatever live sports does to get the engagement and the real-time people to watch those shows. It's not going to change anybody's mind, like Revamped is saying. Revamp's not going to go back and change his habits. Guess what? Neither am I. But that's not the point. We are not everybody. We are not the majority. We won't be the majority until certain generations have died off. And that's just the way it is. The reality is you have to maximize your profits in every category. You have to be able to do what you need to do for USA Network as well as what you need to do for Netflix, right? Like, those are the things that you have to look at with WWE. And all I'm saying is the YouTube clip, if you put up a 20-minute YouTube clip of Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre getting in an argument or whatever, that's not going to help you, because anybody could just go to your YouTube channel and then what? How does that help? How does that help Netflix? How does that help USA? How does that help you? You just gave away your segment. Now, if you show like Drew McIntyre saying like one-liner, and then the next thing that happens, they hit Seth Rollins' music, and then he comes out and dances to the ring, and then you cut the clip right there, Now you're
That's
like,
it.
oh, what happened? Now I need, see, this is why I need to watch Raw. That's the psychology of trying to get people to watch your product. So
There you go, Vic.
oh,
You get the applause, bro. Everyone agrees. 100%, man. And you couldn't have put it better yourself. And that's the thing, dude. I mean, everything is going well. How about we stop talking about the so-called ratings because it's not what it used to be.
Well, why were we talking about that? Oh, yes. The reason I brought it up in the first place. The reason why are you underwater all the time? Jeez, God, can you fix Australia? Can you fix everything down there?
God, only happens with this damn show, you know that? For crying out loud.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's not get carried away.
Yesterday it didn't happen. It didn't happen on the Raw show. That was different circumstances. But this damn show, I don't know why. Right. But I'll figure that out.
Is D taking up all the bandwidth for gaming?
No, she's playing Xbox, but she's not online. So,
all right. Yeah. Shout outs to Todd Brantley for stopping in. Thank you very much, Todd. Have a great day, man.
Anyway, man, I wanted to thank you for before, by the way, Todd, and thank you for checking up. I appreciate it, bro. But anyway,
yeah, we were talking about it because I said AEW did a lot of hot shotting last week, and the result was a slight bump in Dynamite's ratings this week. Or maybe it was just a coincidence. Who knows?
Wow.
But the idea is they got people talking and maybe some extra people tuned in to see like, all right, what's the follow-up? And now we're here to talk about the follow-up. Unless, of course, we have other news to talk about, Jimmy. I'll leave that up to you. Did anything else happen that we need to...
Am I still underwater, by the way?
In and out. It's like you're struggling to stay above the surface.
I'm caught in a rip. Let's just call it that for the time being.
Glub,
well, as far as
glub.
As far as the news goes, apparently the Motor City Machine Guns, and I thought we've already reported this a couple months back, but here we are again, have signed with WWE and are expected to make their WWE NXT debut this week, as a matter of fact. Vet, have they signed? Are we finally going to see the Motor City Machine Guns make their debut in WWE this week?
Sure.
I expect them. It'd be cool to have.
I don't know. Yeah. What are they saying now? It's going to be like the NXT CW debut?
Yeah, well, that I'm not too sure. But you know what? I hope they have their old theme music for their debut. And I'm sure they will because of the TNA WWE relationship at the moment. But we'll see. But it's all reported, still all speculation and whatnot. But apparently they've signed. In other news, and I won't call it news, but this is the difference between a WWE, it seems, and an AEW. If you say, if you tell me any differently, because apparently Drew McIntyre and CM Punk never really liked each other, supposedly. If that's true, then this is how you do business. Because he says, and I'm talking about Drew McIntyre, he goes on to say that he's a professional, so is CM Punk. And, we can come up with things creatively, even if we don't like each other in real life, it doesn't matter. We're both pros and we can come up with some good shit, basically. And unlike the other company that seems to never let bygones be bygones, and shit just turns to shit, these guys can come up and make something relevant, even if they're not really liking each other in real life per se. What do you think of Drew's comments?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'd prefer that they just don't breach this topic altogether. You know, it's just the fans know too much, and that's why you see on social media people talking about like how things are being booked instead of just commenting on what the program shows. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember people talking about when Game of Thrones was on. I don't remember people talking about Jon Snow's booking. They kind of just went with the story, right? But now all the fans that want to be smart are out there talking about it. And then we get all these podcasts and things of these interviews, which is where all of our news comes from half the time, is just some wrestler goes on a podcast that talks to Chris Van Vliet, the male Denise Salcedo or whatever, whoever they talk to. And then that just becomes stuff that they say on there just becomes news headlines. So I'd rather people just not try to ask Drew McIntyre about his relationship with CM Punk, because that's a mark-ass question. And what's he going to say? He has two options. He can either say what he said here, which is like, hey, look, we come up with stuff, and that ruins it, right? Or you could say, oh, no, we're totally cool. This whole thing's a work, and that ruins it. So there's nothing you can say that doesn't ruin it. And if you say, no, this is for real, everything we've done is real, and we hate each other, nobody believes you. So you ruin it.
It's true. So how about we stop doing these presses, folks? Let's just stop altogether. That way we don't get caught in these situations, right?
Speaking of what let all these guys run their own sheets, and don't give them the opportunity to get a live mic and ask a dumbass question.
Absolutely, I agree. Also, that brings me to, it's funny because I asked you this off the air a few days ago, but you just reminded me. You know, our very own Bin Hamin made the dirt sheets last week. He was all over the place. And the funny thing about this, I kept seeing this article popping up on my feeds. I never clicked on it, but I didn't know it was Bin that came out with this, and they credited Bin for it. But I just kept skipping past it because it was getting posted everywhere, and I'm like, I don't believe that. I'm not even going to click. It's clickbait, right? Until finally someone posted it, I think on the Russo page, that said, hey, Bin made the dirt sheets, right? So I clicked on it because of that reason. And to my surprise, it was that same article that I was actually trying to avoid the whole time. And apparently, if you listen to the Friday Locker Room last week with our very own Bin Hamin and, of course, MSG, he went on to say that he thinks that Triple H is going to get pushed out. You know, Endeavor's going to push out Triple H eventually. And all the last remnants of the Vince McMahon, WWE, if you want to call it that. Personally, I don't look. I love Bin. I don't buy that. I said this to you. I don't buy it one bit. I don't know why even the dirt sheets ran with it, because really, I mean, it's just an opinion, right? That's his opinion. Now, unless he knows something and that we don't, that's one thing. But I just don't. I don't understand. I don't see it, man. It's not like they got rid of Dana White, right? I mean, Dana's still, and he's a piece of shit. Let's be honest. I mean, he's done a lot of bad shit, but they're happy to keep him along. I think if you were to get rid of Triple H, I think the fans would even get upset about it. So I don't know, man. Where does he come up with that? I have no idea. But if he's right, boy, I'll be more than happy to say I am dead wrong and I know nothing. But I don't get that impression, like the impression that he gets. Do you feel any way? Is he onto something? I don't know.
Well, if you listen to the Raw SmackDown review on the brand, that Russo, Ben, and Stevie do, that's something that's right, channelattitude.com. That's something they've been saying since the Endeavor. Yeah, they've been like, I know Russo has said that. He's like, he just figures they're going to get rid of all the old, all the old guard and everything like that, right? I mean, to pull back the curtain, I think my response to you was a very simple, like, I doubt it, but anything can happen, which is as honest as I can be. Like, of course they could, I mean, if they wanted to, or if they feel that they could do the same business without any of the people that are there now. I don't know what benefit it would have to remove Triple H or anybody else around there if they're still useful. I mean, you just probably have to replace them with somebody else. But if business is good right now, there's really no reason to. If you want to talk about conspiracy theories and everything, some of you guys may remember that when a lot of this was happening, where, it was like the Endeavor, it was the Vince McMahon, now then the allegations, and then the pushing out and all this other stuff. If you remember, I said, it's like, well, if you really look at the timeline of events, it's a very fun notion to think that it's Triple H that is part of getting rid of Vince McMahon, because we all thought many years ago that one day this guy would be sitting where he is. And it also seems like he was content to wait his turn, let Vince do his thing. And when I'm sure he thought he would leave it to like himself and Stephanie, or just Stephanie, or even Shane and Stephanie, and that he would be involved. And I think Triple H has always wanted to do more than just be a wrestler. I think this is the dream job that he's always had. And this is what he planned on doing in his retirement. And when it looked like that wasn't going to be the case, he was probably very disappointed. But then on the other hand, he probably didn't foresee the fact that he would have a heart attack and then that Vince would go in and destroy NXT, which was kind of his thing. So I don't know that this relationship that Triple H and Vince have had over the years has been all hugs and smiles and everything else like that. I mean, do we even know that Vince ever forgave Triple H for marrying his daughter in the first damn place? It seems like Vince wanted to half-ass marry his own daughter a couple times. So you know, there's always been heat there to varying degrees, and I think everybody was just going through the motions and working each other because they thought everybody was going to get what they wanted in the end. And then when it turns out that, hey, wait a minute, I waited my turn. I was a good son-in-law. I did everything I could to help. You did everything you could to drive this business into the ground. And then when I have a heart attack, you're going to take a sledgehammer, pun intended, to my baby. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm done waiting. And then all of a sudden, you know, maybe some people were put in contact with other people and we got the ball rolling on a few things because we have some insider knowledge. So this all could be just a cerebral assassin type of move in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that I believe or disbelieve that, but it is kind of fun to think about the timeline, right? So if
someone tells you this,
yeah, so if you were that instrumental in something like that, say, maybe we just keep you around because you helped us, we help you, and now maybe you got a job as long as you want it because you clearly know the business. We'd rather not try to teach somebody else this stuff. So yeah, just go ahead and run it. And then maybe if business falls off a cliff, maybe they blame Triple H and maybe then they get rid of him.
Then that makes sense, right? Absolutely. And there's the answer right there. You don't even have to say yes or no. You just explaining all that should give you your answer, man. It's not hard to figure it out. So yeah, there's that. Thank you for actually reminding me of that time too, because I totally forgot about that. But you reminded me it's exactly how and why. I mean, I would have done the same thing. He's a piece of shit, Vince. It's simple as that. I mean, say what you want. You can bow to him. He's just a piece of shit, and he deserves.
He's gone. And nobody and everybody is like, that's another thing you see on social media. Besides people arguing about ratings and other bullshit, you also see people arguing as like, well, the Vince McMahon era, this would never happen, or you know, whatever. And like the Bobby Lashley thing we were all talking about, like Vince used Bobby Lashley like this. He even said, I like Vince better. You know, like they have all this stuff. It's like, nobody in like 2017, 2018, 2019, nobody was praising the WWE product and saying this was any good and business was not booming. Nobody was hyping it up or whatever, but they did what they had to do to get business moving in the right direction. That's what it needed to be. And they got rid of a useless old man that was not contributing anything but pettiness. And they got rid of his number one lackey, Johnny Ace, you know, that absolutely contributes nothing to the wrestling business. And the only other people that they get rid of are like, I don't know, I guess, what do you call it when you do mergers and stuff? Redundancies? Like a lot of people have been quietly let go that have been there for like longtime employees. It could just be like the fact that, we just don't need you anymore. We have our own people for this. That's like a common thing that happens in mergers or takeovers or buyouts or whatever. Like it does kind of suck, but you know, but those names aren't like, you know, headline worthy names. They're just, you just quietly hear somebody that's worked here for 30 years or whatever has just been let go. If you're paying attention, you'll catch that. But whatever they're doing as a whatever Endeavor is doing as a company to sort of do the house cleaning or whatever, it's a little bit ruthless sometimes or whatever. But the important thing is, to me, all I really care about is, number one, I care about the boys and girls, the men and the women, being able to come to work and not have to worry about walking on eggshells and a bunch of stupid petty bullshit. If they're having fun right now at WWE, just going, hanging out together and putting on a good show, if they're having fun, that's the most important thing to me.
Absolutely.
That's what it should be like. Everybody there should not have to be worried about, oh, I don't know if Vince is going to like it if I say belt. Like, we don't need... Yeah, we don't need any of that, right? So that's the number one most important thing to me. I don't give a shit about the creative. Oh, the creative isn't... I don't... Who cares about the creative? It's a la carte. You like what you like who you like, you don't like what you don't like. It's like I said before at the start. WWE's doing absolutely nothing. It's boring, it's predictable, it's formulaic, and the people are going crazy. So as long as the people in the audience and the seats are having fun and the people in catering are having fun, then that's the best thing. And whatever it takes to maintain that, because I'm not making any money off it. So all I care about is for my, my brothers and sisters to be happy.
Absolutely, man. Again, Vet, that was perfectly put, bro. Absolutely perfectly put. As far as other news, I was looking into my
wait, Jimmy. Speaking of my brothers and sisters, you hear who just got signed to a Legends contract?
Yes. You're talking about Victoria now?
No.
Oh, which one? Oh, wait. Armando Alejandro.
My name.
Yeah.
Ha ha. That's right.
We called this. Hey, I hate to say it, but did we not talk about this a couple of weeks back?
I don't know. Did we?
We did. Actually, it could have been me that brought this up. Funny enough. I was saying that they should bring back Armando Estrada back to at least be, say, what's it called? Like either Jacob Fatu's sort of, mouthpiece. Look, Jacob Fatu can do a promo, though. Don't get me wrong. He's actually half decent. But also for his son, as in Omaga's son, Zilla Fatu, if he's close to, debuting, and I'm sure he's not the best promo guy. Heck, I've never actually heard him talk. I only see him wrestle, right? That would make sense. Or heck, I've also said yesterday, ironically, on the Smack Attack, that maybe even pairing with someone said in the chat, one needs a what's it called? I think it was revamped actually. One needs a translator, and the other one I can't remember what he said. But basically, that made me think maybe they should bring back Armando for, even though he's not really Spanish, for Andrade. You know what I mean? I mean, Andrade needs a mouthpiece big time right now. So either way, I do think we're going to see him on television again somewhere, somehow. And them signing him to a Legends contract, which they don't have to do, I think brings up an interesting time and point, because for them to do that for now, I think they got something up their sleeve, and they're just going to make sure that they have him there in case they do need to bring him back on television.
Well, to me, of course, he could definitely contribute, but I don't think that's the reason. I think the people that are on Legends deals, it's just for merchandising purposes. Right. And the reason that's him, because obviously the WWE did not appreciate him.
No, he was great. I loved him. Like,
yeah, he got heat because he was trying to get Umaga over, and he was getting over too, and they were mad at him for that. So he doesn't have the greatest history of, and that's just an unfortunate thing. When you do your job too well, you get heat. I know it's hard for fans to understand that that's even a possibility sometimes, but it just is. It makes no sense. It makes no sense if you're sitting outside the business. It doesn't make sense when you're in the business either, but you see it happen so often that you just understand that. So he was a product of being too entertaining and too good, and he got heat for that. So, he's had, I think it's more so because I think the reason he's getting a deal now is more so because of like the family looking out for him because of what he did for Umaga and for being tight with Umaga and those guys being bros and family like that. And it's like, hey, let's do this for him. Like this is the Samoans kind of. I'm just
Loyal-
guessing,
right. No, you're right. They're
but
very
it's the
loyal people,
Samoans
right?
using their stroke to do a favor for somebody that deserves it, or they got short shrift on what they could have had contributed this whole time. So I came up with Has. So he's one of my bros from
Wait.
OVW.
You came. Oh no, you came up with him. Yeah. So I thought
Yeah, yeah.
you
No,
mean that
he
you
was
came up
there.
with
He was there
Alexander.
when I was there. He was one of the
I knew
guys
that.
that was, you know, kind enough to share knowledge with me when I was starting out and
Good.
everything like that. And he's always been a great guy and a very good entertainer. Um
He
and he
does a
was
great
just
job.
yeah, and he came up with that gimmick out of nowhere. He wasn't even
Really?
doing that. You know, he
Oh
was
shit!
you know, yeah, he's from where was he
He's
from?
an
I
Arab,
think
he's an Arab background, isn't he?
yeah, I whatever he is, I said the wrong thing last time. I want to get this right.
You say something else?
Palestinian. Yeah,
Wow, is he Palestinian?
yeah.
I thought he
He
was
was
like
yeah, and
Jordanian or something.
he was doing in like an Iranian gimmick or some shit like in OVW,
Yeah,
but because it's all the same to
of
most people.
course,
But yeah,
stereotyping,
but
but
we just call yeah his nickname in you know in class and everything was Sheik. We just called him Sheik.
I've heard that. I've heard that before. That's
Yeah.
pretty racist, though.
Well,
But
it's
it makes
just
sense. It makes sense.
he was doing a but that's what Rip called him because he was doing an Iron Sheik like gimmick.
Oh,
So
okay. All right. I thought you were just
yeah,
calling him Sheikh because he's Arab. You know.
his name is Hazem or whatever. We just called him Haz. We called him Haz or Sheik or whatever. And then one day he just Cuban all of a sudden. So it's like, yeah, when the WWE calls you, you do it needs to be done, right? But he's a great guy and I'm happy for him. And
Absolutely, man.
you know,
I hope
it may be it's not. I don't say it's too little. It may be a little too late, but but it's certainly not going to be too little. So this is good.
absolutely. My name is Armando, and everyone used to, do it in the background. I miss him, dude. I think he'd be a great manager. We need more of these guys, to be honest, man. Just having Heyman is just doesn't really cut it. We need some more managers that were actually half decent, man. And he was better than half decent. He was actually great. And he really, even though you think this slimy Cuban sort of manager being the manager of like some Samoan bulldozer, on paper it probably looks whack, right? But for some reason it fit, it worked, and it was great. I think I definitely didn't appreciate those times like I kind of do now, because yeah, it wasn't that good back then. But you know what? It was a heck of a lot better sometimes than look. It was better than 2010, say 2011, 2012. Yeah, we had pipe bombs and shit, but everything else sucked really. And then we had the Daniel Bryan stuff, and still then everything around it still sucked anyway. So
Well, yeah,
but
even the Daniel Bryan stuff sucked because you could tell they didn't want to do it.
right, and it was
Like
obvious
they
'cause that's what
sabotaged it at every possible turn, and they took all the fun out of it. You know.
the fans, went to war for Danielson to make sure that he got his way, and thank God he did. Well, thank you for reminding me about that though, because I'm thinking Victoria. Then I remember because you were from the same class as Estrada. It just came to me, and I'm like, hang on a minute. But speaking of OVW guys, the Outrunners, dude. Apparently, everyone's very happy with them, as I am. Also, seeing them get and we'll get to the point. We'll get to that when we get there. But it's part of the news. Seeing them get that pop, I know it was in Kentucky. It's obvious why they got the pop, right? But that doesn't matter. It wasn't just once. I'm telling you, these guys are going to be pretty popular right now. I think everyone is really starting to get behind them, as they should. I would love for them guys to be pushed. I know, and look, you know what I love? They're Rip Rogers guys, and they've kind of cardboard cutouts of Rip Rogers in many ways. I'm talking about their gimmick. I mean, the look, the pink. You know what I mean? Like the blonde hair. You could tell they're Rip Rogers guys. And I think they're so much better than most of these tag teams in this division in AEW. And I put MXM too. I love those guys. I never used to, but I do now because I don't know. I don't know why I like them these days, but them two teams in particular, I think could be great in AEW if they actually allow them to be great. Will they? I don't know, but I've got a feeling that the runners will get a decent push, hopefully, because they friggin' earned it, bro. They're so entertaining to watch. I love their vignettes. I love everything about him, bro, is just so good. And speaking of Rip Rogers, apparently there's a GoFundMe out there for Rip Rogers needing surgery. Chris Jericho posted that. So if anybody can go and donate something for Rip, I don't have the address on me just yet, but I will by the end of the show, and I'll give it out because he's needing surgery, right? And he doesn't even go out there and say, "Give me your money." He's not that type of guy, man. It was Jericho that actually posted it, to my surprise, because I've been tuning into Rip's show lately myself, and I don't hear him talk about it really. You know what I mean? So, do you have any news about that?
No, it kind of came. Well, I had heard him mention something about his leg, and then I didn't really. He said that a while ago, so I just thought, well, if it was serious, he would have took care of it. Because I know he has, I know he works, and I was assumed that where he works, he has insurance and everything like that. So I assumed it wasn't that big of a deal, but apparently it's gotten to be a big deal. So I don't know exactly what the deal is, but he's posted some pictures of his leg, and it doesn't look great. So, yeah, you guys might want to check that out. You can just find it. I mean, if you go and search for that somehow, I'm sure you'll find it.
I'll post it by the end of the show. Like I said, it just came up to me. What do you think about the Outrunners, though?
Well, I mean, and speaking of guys that came up, like I missed one of them. Turbo Floyd came after me. Truth Magnum was there with me. So like it's great to see, him getting getting this like all this hard work paying off, that was so long ago,
Right.
it's
Amazing, bro. It's amazing.
yeah,
man.
bro. It's like, 19 years ago. I mean, I don't know exactly when. Maybe for him, it's only been like 17 years or 16 years or something like that. But I mean, for me, it was 2005 the first time I walked through those doors. It seems like a whole lifetime ago. It was a whole lifetime ago. So like finally, getting to be on this stage and this platform is great to see that, it's like to see him with that, or to see Has get a Legends deal, like after all this time, it's like,
right?
it's taking Serena Deeb's on TV. Like why does it take 20 years for all these talented people to get a little bit of recognition in this business? That just goes to show you how much of a fucked up monopoly the WWE's had over the wrestling business, and how being talented didn't mean anything for so long,
Politics, and it is what it is. And I just want to, speaking of politics, the king of 2K24, Aaron Benchtimer, says, why injecting politics to wrestling? Because that's what wrestling is, dude. I mean, politics and wrestling go hand in hand. I'm not talking about the politics with the boys. I'm talking about, wrestling mirrors real life in many ways, and what's going on.
Well,
world.
Yeah, but that's an old way of thinking, because think about it, bro. What happened when we tried to have some politics in football? Everybody lost their damn minds, right? So this ain't, nobody believes this shit anymore. So there's really no point in it. Yeah, if wrestling was still believable, then that's one thing, but everybody knows it's the fakest shit ever, and everybody's talking about it and exposing it. We're about to expose it here for the next, hour and 10 minutes, whatever it is that we're going to do the show. We're going to expose how fake wrestling is. There's no point in trying to bring real world politics and get people upset. So I think we just need to leave that shit out. Is my personal opinion.
Yeah, well, but what I'm trying to get at, wrestling was based off all that bullshit. That's what sort of brought it to the table.
Wrestling's based off separating simple people from their money. That's what wrestling.
There's that too.
That's what wrestling's based on. So
see you, Lab Rat. Sorry to break the news, bro.
we finally told him. We tested out phony wrestling on Lab Rat, and that's what finally did him in.
It worked. Nah. Yeah. Anyway, well, look, that was all the major news. Unless I'm missing out something, I don't think I really am. Everything else is just blah blah. To be honest, there's nothing else really that I think is worth touching on. I think we already touched on the things that were worth talking about. So, in saying that, it's a time we put the gloves on, Vent, and start sifting.
Let's do it.
Oh boy!
I wonder how quickly we can run through this.
Oh, trust me. If you really want me, well, yeah, we can do it quick if you want.
Let's see how quick. Well, okay. So when last they left us, we saw, a needle in Swerve's mouth, and Hangman Page gets his hand raised. And if you really want if you really want to know what I think, because look, I didn't have time to watch All Out. Like, I only watched that one match. Oh, what do we have there?
No, it was a needle. It's a pump. It's a
Okay.
pump.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
since it's 240p, I don't know if anybody can make that out. But
damn it! I was gonna bring myself back in quickly just while you talk about that. All right.
okay, so basically, what we had was a pay-per-view with a bunch of stuff on it, and I barely got to see any of it. So all I really talked about was that match, but I only had to cram that match in on my lunch break at work. So I basically didn't have time to fully form an essay on what I really thought about all the reasons why this match was stupid and the show was stupid and AEW's been stupid about these things and all this other stuff. So if you really want to hear my like full, like full force emotional opinion on it, just go listen to Jim Cornette's review of the match. I listened to it right before like a couple hours ago when I was at work. I finished listening to it. I endorse everything Jim Cornette said about the match. He basically speaks for me. So if you want to hear an articulate, angry review of the match where he completely breaks down every point of the match on why it was wrong and stupid, you go listen to that and then just apply that to me and pretend I said it because I agree 100%. But that's where they left us. And so now we've got Dynamite. We're going to tune in and see where do we go from here. So, what we're going to start with, we're going to start with Jon Moxley, unarrested, coming into the building with his crew. He basically comes out to do this promo because that's the first thing you do when you give an attempted murderer, you give him mic time in the ring to open your show, right? So,
well, apparently someone is scared of their life, aren't they?
I guess no one pressed any charges.
So over 30 years.
Shit. Did you hear that by any chance?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you know where that was going.
I heard part of it. I heard 30 years.
Yeah, I was going to play the rest of it. But, he's scared of his life.
Yeah. I guess maybe if it had happened right in front of him instead of out in the ring, he would have felt differently. But
well, then he would have felt like this.
I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
Yeah, it's too quiet. It's probably just playing in your room. It's probably not even coming through the... Jimmy's really got to set up his new Roadcaster properly. So next week...
I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
There you go.
Okay, that's a little better. But anyway, Mox basically comes out and says, hey, I didn't enjoy what I did. And I was thinking, well, neither did we. We didn't enjoy it either. But, I get it. Whatever. So that was basically my takeaway from this opening thing. That's the best we got out of this as far as explanations, right? But we're not done with it. We'll come back to it. But that's just how they open the show. And then Tony Schiavone calls the patriarchy out to the ring, and they do a thing. The patriarchy does a thing. Obviously, that's all the notes I made, because once Christian got in there and started yapping, I tuned out. This was all the way back on Wednesday. I don't remember a thing he said. Does it matter?
Well, like for you, it doesn't matter. I watched it back to back. I thought to myself, it'd probably be better if I watch both shows kind of on the same day. So that way I'm more fresh in the mind. But no, all he said, he's got that money in the bank. I don't know what you want to call it. He's
got that money in the folder.
Yeah, money in the folder. That's it. Money in the folder. And essentially, he's challenging Danielson for the championship like everyone else is.
Right.
So I don't know what McGuinness ends up, we'll get to that. But
yeah. He's saying that they're basically saying like he's not cleared to be in a championship match.
But so yeah, that's all he's saying. But can I ask though, Vent? So does this like literally, does it work like Money in the Bank? Can he cash it in whenever he feels like it?
Your guess is as good as mine, but it seemed like he tried to right before Danielson was almost murdered. Like it seems like that's what he was on his way to do. And then that's why the BCC stopped him, because it was like, no, you're not. That's our friend that we're about to kill.
Well, they haven't made it clear yet, because I still don't understand how this shit works properly. Someone
maybe he just went. Maybe he would have went out there for nothing. Maybe he would have went out there and told the referee to ring the bell, and the ref's like, that's not how this works. Maybe we'll never know now, because we just know that they probably weren't going to try to asphyxiate Bryan Danielson. So, but anyway, so whatever, who cares? Don Callis family with Renee, and then Will Ospreay's there. And I guess this is the Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay team up.
Yeah, I'm going to call it,
Back
Ozzy
in the
Ospreay.
family.
Yes. Ozzy Ospreay. That's what he should be called. That's his new name. Forget Kyle Fletcher, Ozzy Ospreay and William Ospreay. The Ospreys. What I hate about this segment, bro, like, first of all, he's like, nah, I can't, blah, 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 blah. You owe me a favor, remember, blah, blah, blah. And then fucking suddenly, because Kyle says it to him, come on, man. I've never won a belt ever in this company, even though he was Ring of Honor television
TV champion, yeah.
Right. Come on, man. I just want to.
But in this company, in this section of the company.
Anyway, because he says so, he's like, yeah, bruv. Yeah, let's go and get it, bruv. You know, the Ospreys. Let's do it. Cool. It's stupid, though. I don't like the way that played out.
Yeah, it's kind of corny, but it gets worse. Where are we at? I seem to have accidentally scrolled down. Let me go back. Okay, next we're going with Little Brooks Jensen versus Leo Rush. So we're going to see a theme here. Starting with this week, we're going to see a theme. And we've kind of been seeing it. But we got Leo Rush and Lil Brooks Jensen. And after Lil Brooks Jensen successfully defends his TNT championship, he goes in the back and drives his bus away. And guys, this is the short bus. You all know what the short bus is. You remember the short bus from school. That's the one with the handicapped and problem children rode this bus to school. Some of them had helmets on.
I don't want to laugh, but you know.
Yeah, so is this is that on purpose? Like, just because you spray paint it black or whatever, is it still not the special bus? Or as Cold Blooded says, dark short bus.
Ah, that's true. Well, I've got a dark thing for later on. I would have done a dark bus.
Oh, yeah. That just sounds like you're you drank a lot of soda and you gotta
and burped.
Yeah. But yeah, it was after he drove the bus away after comparing himself to Jesus. So like a little blasphemy too, just for all you.
I'll tell you what's real blasphemy: the fact that truck is ready to like seize. You notice the smoke that thing's blowing out? Like seriously, dark smoke. But it's not dark. It's white. Funny enough. Still, it's a piece of shit, no doubt.
What, the bus or Jack Perry?
Oh, both. Okay. You know, and you can throw the goat in there too, whatever that is.
Well, speaking of piece of shit, the unarrested Hangman Page is here with Renee.
Oh, God, I hate this guy now.
Yeah, now? Well,
I was a fan of his originally pre-AEW. Keep that in mind.
You were a fan of his. Let's all point and laugh at Jimmy. He was a fan of Hangman once.
I was weird enough.
Jimmy was probably like, "Whoa, that's a cool clothesline."
No, I never liked that. That's stupid, bro. Why do you need a flip to do a clothesline? How does that make it more like, you know?
Well, you see, it's the centrifugal force and the the physics of the, and the mass times velocity, But anyway, yeah. So he's there, and then Jeff Jarrett steps up and he's like, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm a real cowboy. I'm the last outlaw."
Right. Good on him, because every other
you should have just punched him in the face. I don't need to hear Jeff Jarrett calmly talking to anybody.
Yeah, but at least he stuck up for himself, dude. Unlike every other idiot, they had multiple people with him. So 3 guys couldn't take on one dude. And then we see another 3 guys again couldn't take on one dude. Yet we got good old Jeff Jarrett. Ain't he great, though, still?
I was sick-sotting on him.
Yeah, but he's big for nothing. You know how I feel about that. But yeah, I'm just saying though, like it's so dumb, and people want to know why I liked Hangman. Look, I was a Bullet Club fan, big time during the time, so that's why I liked Hangman. So there's your answer, fellas.
That was the sorry version.
Yeah, well, no, that was after that. Long before that, long before AEW. I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Long before. And as far as the Bucks go, I hated the Bucks at first, and then I grew to like them, and then I hate them again. I hated Generation Me, by the way, big time.
Well, who didn't?
Yeah.
All right. So Mox and friends attack a 6-man tag that's about to happen. They just go and beat up a whole 6-man tag match. I don't even bother writing their names down because it doesn't matter. They were only there to get beat up by the Moxley crew.
I can't even remember who was in this match, to be honest, dude. Now that I think about it.
I'm sure they outnumbered them, but they still lost the fight. So
relevant. Because we've got the big bad doofuses these days. We've got maybe Mox and Hangman can stick together. Maybe they can become a thing.
Yeah, we'll see. Learning Tree pulls up in a Bentley. I wonder if that's gonna play into something later.
I wonder.
We get a Ricochet match. Yay! Unfortunately, it's versus Sammy Guevara. Oh. Ricochet wins with the Ricochet driver, and then the Beast Mortos comes out.
Yeah,
it's the Gore. Yeah. Yeah, him.
Well, what's his problem? What am I missing? Why has he got a problem with Ricochet?
Because he smelled a fake luchador.
Did you smell his fingers?
He's like, I smell Puma in here.
You broke me. Oh, no. Sorry. Shit, that's funny, man. I'm in tears, bro. That is fucking funny. I smelled Puma in you.
Mm-hmm. It's the most words he's ever said.
He's got it. If anyone from AEW is hearing this, please, someone tell Mortos to just say that. That will get him over, bro. That would be that would get him fucking over 100%. Even Zayn is telling you, man, very nice vet. And he never gives praise.
He does.
That should tell you something.
Yeah.
That was good, bro. That's great.
All right. So anyway, yeah. So something's up there. We'll get a Mortos versus Ricochet match at some point. But yeah, like Lab Rat says, Sammy, so no Monet. The hate is real. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking that too, man. It's a good spot, actually, Lab Rat. I was thinking that when he came out.
I think Cold Blooded said too, like,
oh,
he's upset because a while back he like before we were talking about it, he mentioned like he feels ripped off that they got Sammy Guevara instead of Monet.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's look, this has got to be a thing for sure, man. And anytime she's not around, that's the only time we see Sammy Guevara, man. The heat's real, man.
He's married. He got his woman knocked up. I'm sure he's not going to do what he said he was going to do on that podcast.
And I know he wasn't saying that shit like he meant it, but it's dumb of him to actually say those words, period. You know what I mean? Shouldn't say that, but he did, the dickhead. And he's married and seems happily married, mind you. Like, he doesn't give a shit about you, Monet, please. No way. Already with the bullshit power strokes, man.
So, yeah. Zane, I did not watch a house party marathon. There's only one house party movie that I need to watch. You don't need to watch any of the other 7.
Hey, I love Kid and Play.
But do you smell? I definitely smell some. Yes, that. I didn't even think about that reference, but it totally makes sense. Yes,
it does. Well, Kid and Play, man, that was something else back in the day.
Yeah, the parties of the Funhouse. Speaking of party, Renee and Okada, he does his. Yeah, he does his interview. It was, I defended my title. It was so easy, so he's over. Then here comes Don Callis and Takeshita, and
say something. Oh yeah, sorry, you're getting to that. That's right.
Yeah, they say whatever. Like Don Callis is like, hey, here's a Japanese guy, and then yeah, and then Okada's like, bitch, or whatever. So,
but the way he did it was golden. It was one of those things you had to see it. Yeah,
I can't replicate Okada as genius. That's why I'm sitting here and he's making the big bucks.
That was
So
just the way he said it, bitch, and then just walks off. Bang! You're buried for good after that by the man himself, Kazuchika Okada.
yeah. Well, it's funny because it's like you see you hear people talk about all the potential and everything that Takeshita has. It's like,
Right.
which I'm so tired of hearing it, but it's like, to me, he's just like everybody else that does a million things and then nobody cares. And then people get mad at Okada for not giving like he's doesn't do anything, and they pay him all this money, and it's like,
That's
well,
what people say,
what is he supposed to do? Like, he's working his spot on the card. If you stick him in the middle of a show against some nobody, why is he going to give you a Tokyo Dome main event? Why should he? Not only why should he, but it doesn't even make sense for the show. Meanwhile, you could have Takeshita in the match, do every fucking move from the top rope and look like he's going to kill somebody, and take bumps on the ramp and take bumps on the apron and take bumps here and take bumps there and do all this. And then he's still what? They sent him over to the G1 because they didn't have nothing for him on AEW TV. Like, how necessary is a guy that can just do what everybody else does? He just does every move that he knows, and that's why he sucks. And then guys like Okada, or even guys like Ishii, that you put them on their spot on the card. If you're like, hey, you're just in the middle of an episode of Collision, they're like, okay, then I'll have a match like the episode of a Collision deserves. And that's what they do. Why should they take bumps? Why should they hurt themselves? Why should they go crazy? Just do what you need to do. You don't get paid by the move.
No, you don't. You know, I'm not even complaining about Okada's role in AEW. You don't. I've never really complained about it. I'm cool with what he's doing right now. Sure, we don't see him all the time, but keep in mind, in Japan, it's not like we saw him every week, because there aren't any events that run every week. So, you know what I mean? It's not like, you know what I'm saying? I guess now the way we get, wrestling fed to us just constantly all the time, I guess we expect people to be wrestling and whatnot week in, week out, day in, day out. It's not like that, and he doesn't need to be doing that. So
and if he was, he'd be doing even less.
Right, exactly. So I've got no complaints, man. But Jay White, I've got an issue with whatever's going on with him.
Yeah. Well, he would be doing the same thing. A bunch of nothing.
Yeah, apparently.
All right. Now is the part where Darby shows up and Moxley shows up, and they have the face-to-face talk that they're meaning to have.
This is dumb, bro. But
all right, I'll let you got some thoughts. You got some thoughts, Jimmy. Go ahead.
I do. No, well, I know Darby's had one too many knocks to the head, clearly, right? But why would you give up your chance of facing the world champion to Moxley, who easily manipulated his spot to get that contract? Do you know what I mean? Clearly manipulated his position, right? Clearly thinks. I guess the story is that Darby is a bit, stupid, and Moxley's, outsmarted him just like that. I just don't like how someone that has an opportunity to get a world, championship shot decides to put that spot on the line to Moxley because Moxley felt, called him out about it.
Well, what would happen if? Why am I hearing myself?
Are you hearing yourself now? Really? Hang on.
We're a professional show, guys.
What about now?
I don't know. So anyway, I don't even know why I would ever hear myself. Like, how the hell would I come through on the other end?
Confuse me, bro, as well. Are you still coming through the other end?
I don't know. I won't hear it until I start talking. Anyway, never mind. I'm not going to hold up the show. You guys just deal with it. So Darby Allin, basically, what's he going to look like if he comes out and Jon Moxley says, hey, give me your title shot? And he just says, no, you can't have it, and I'm not going to fight you. What does he look like?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, it's just more the Darby aspect of it for me. You know what I mean? Look, I get you, but can we do this some other way? Why does it need to be automatically for a title shot? Why can't it be just because they don't like each other?
Well, I think if you really want to get down to it, the bigger picture is, why does everybody think that the AEW World Championship is worth all of this shit?
Well,
Like this, like it drove Hangman Page crazy to the point that he burned down a man's house and filmed it. It drove John Moxley crazy to the point that he's going to take his friend Bryan Danielson and try to kill him with a plastic bag and then say, I didn't enjoy this. But he's only doing it for the AEW Dude, there's a million championships in this company. How could any of them mean anything, especially this much, that you would be willing to do all these things for it? You have not established the AEW championship to be murder worthy. I mean, you could say it's a nice prize to have in the business, but it's not murder worthy. It's just another wrestling belt. So I don't think that your storylines are outreaching the grasp of the AEW World Championship, or however I butcher that saying. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, the championship ain't worth it. It's not worth killing a guy over. Okay, so you killed a guy. Let's say you killed him. Okay, what if he succeeded? What if he was just trying to choke Daniel Bryan a little bit and then he died? Even in just a storyline, right? As a storyline. Oh, we killed him. I didn't mean to, but oh well. Well, why would the natural reaction be, oh, well, since you killed our champion, I guess we should give you the championship or at least have a match for it? No, you'd be like, arrest this man. Take him to jail. He killed my champion. I can't believe you do this. I'm trying to run a business here. Nobody reacts the way that they would if anything were even come close to approaching realistic. So,
well, maybe that's their way of putting the title over. You got to die for it. I'll put my life on the line just to hold this prestigious world championship that's only been around for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I've wanted it all 5 of those years. Like I said, Hangman Page already won it once. So what the fuck? So he went crazy because he lost it? No, I need the shiny belt. It's the only thing that goes with my butterfly pants. Like,
well, I guess that's why you burn.
Just go buy a replica one for $400 from one of these other marks.
For $5, you get a plastic one. I mean,
yeah, just say you're the champion.
Yeah,
go ask CM Punk if he'll let you have his.
Hey,
that he never lost. Yeah.
Do you think he still has that belt actually?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So, anyway, regardless of that, I'm talking now we're in a la carte territory. Darby Allin's promo, A+. John Moxley's promo, A+. If you forget about what they're actually talking about and just look at the segment, this was good as hell to me. I thought.
No, yeah.
So as long as you don't think about it,
right.
These guys nailed it. I loved it. Unfortunately, it's surrounded with stupidity like always. But if we're just looking at it a la carte, and I'm no Moxley fan, I bury him every chance I get on here, but this was good. He wasn't pacing around. He wasn't doing the Fireman Fred thing. He
wasn't actually. You're right.
He's into his new character or whatever, and that's fine. So
I still don't know what the hell this is, but still, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and Darby, like I said,
Darby,
yeah, he's great. Darby's great. And this is probably his best promo. Like he said, he went out there, he said a bunch of stuff. He sounded like he meant it. It made sense. He didn't stutter. Like he had passion behind it. I believed everything he was saying. And aside from just the fact of like what you're saying about how the whole thing is phony, aside from that, because everything else is damn phony, this was great to me.
No, I agree. Put that aside. Great promo. Like you said, Moxie was not pacing for once. It was actually paying attention and listening. And Darby delivered it was from the heart. It felt like it was from the heart, like he meant it. But like you said, unfortunately for me, the bullshit in between is what makes this shit seem weird. But other than that, absolutely, I agree.
All right. Next, Nigel wants to talk to Tony Khan about something. And then after that, we get the Glamour versus the Queen. And obviously, the Glamour is going to win this match. Sorry, Queen.
And how do you pronounce it? Animata, whatever you're talking about?
Aminata.
Aminata, that's it. Aminata. I like her. She's growing on me actually. Since
Yeah.
the start, since
Well-
when I first started seeing her, compared to now, she's much better.
Yeah. She's gonna you're gonna be seeing a lot more of her.
For sure.
But the main point is that afterwards, Mariah Mays wants she wants Mina to come back. She said, "Mina, come back."
Hey, I'm cool.
All right. Then a Young Bucks promo. I just wrote Bucks promo.
There's nothing added. Nothing.
Yeah, they didn't
significant.
even they didn't say anything interesting, or it was very generic.
Okay.
Even
I'll tell you what they did. They were playing up to the marks a little bit. You know how everyone complains on the internet about the AEW's tag team division is all the Bucks' fault and it sucks and all that. No shit. That's what they were saying. And all they said, their response to that was, "It's not our fault. Yeah, it's their fault that everyone else's fault for not having any good tag teams. They are the tag team scene. Basically, they're the champs. It's not their problem to make tag teams, and that's that.
yeah, but it is their fault for a shoot.
It is their fault technically, but yeah.
All right. Next is the Learning Tree versus the Learning Tree. I wrote Learning Tree with the jacket, meaning the spoiled jacket that had orange
right.
mimosa all over it. Versus the Iron Savages. And then of course the Learning Tree wins, and we're not going to talk about the match. All we're going to talk about is that Orange Cassidy paid back the $7,000 for the jacket, but he did it with a bulldozer full of change that he dumped into the Bentley.
Mark Briscoe was actually driving the bulldozer, the tractor, whatever the fuck was the bulldozer. But that was funny, bro. I actually thought, it was a play on the Corvette back in the day, the cement Stone Cold Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, okay, this is a Bentley. I'm waiting for it to get destroyed, but instead, it didn't get destroyed. The coins, hey, that looked like $7,000 worth of quarters or something in there, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it looked good. I like that. That was a smart move. It was a smart ass move too, mind you. But yeah, I didn't mind it, man.
Right, and it also, I guess it took the appropriate amount of time too, because he's been harassing him for like 2 weeks about paying him back for his jacket. It wasn't like he just said. It wasn't like he said at the beginning of the show, "Hey, you owe me $7,000," and then like an hour later he drives up with this and dumps it in. Kind of like how Swerve buys a house and then by the end of the show, Hangman's burned it down.
That was even that was dumb, just quietly. But anyway, yeah, good segment. I enjoyed this. This made me laugh. That's all that mattered.
All right, so now Nigel McGuinness goes to the ring. And because he knows that Bryan Danielson is injured and not clear to compete, he's going to challenge him at Grand Slam. Which is at least this works because he's a heel. So it's like, yes, of course you challenge him when you don't think he's going to show up. That's classic heat. But
we get the match though still. If he's going to turn up, but does he get the match? Yeah, sorry, continue.
I would like a classic Daniel Bryanson does not show up, and then he asks for a 10 count like the Eric Bischoff thing, and do that, and then down the line Danielson can come back and
Yeah, this match ain't happening at Grand Slam, in the US.
It probably will though. It probably will.
You think so?
Will happen. Bro, dude, I have to go with how corny this company is. Yes, I think it will.
Yeah, all right. You're right. It's cool. You just got.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they're struggling to sell tickets to this thing, and then they're just like, definitely Danielson won't be there.
Yeah,
not like he's going to draw any extra people, anyways. But you tell him he won't be there.
But you know what? I don't know how many people remember the McGuinness Danielson feud back in the day, 15 years ago. I mean, I do. I remember it fondly. But I'm sure most people don't, so I don't know how many tickets it's going to fucking bring in. But I've followed McGuinness's career for many, many years. The reason why he couldn't wrestle anymore was because of the hepatitis that he caught. That really, he couldn't wrestle anymore. I don't know if that's and his numerous injuries. Does that mean now that's the thing, dude? Is he cleared to wrestle legitly?
I don't know. Why
that's
are you asking
I'm
me?
not sure. Yeah, I know, true. I don't know. I don't know if this is a ruse, a rouse, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to think about yet. But like you said, they're AEW. They're gonna probably do the match. I would tease it as much as possible, but you're right. They're not gonna do that.
Cold-Blooded says, I cannot confirm nor deny if Jericho actually got that Bentley from the dealership in town. They wouldn't talk to me on the phone. All right. Well,
oh, geez.
okay. Hook does he's got a little Hook video where he challenges Roderick Strong.
I like this, dude. This is the best promo he's ever done, dude. Straight out. I'm serious.
Okay.
I actually do think this was the best he's ever spoken, dude. For real, man.
Right.
That should say something because everything else before that was bad. This, for whatever reason, he came across as clear. He didn't seem nervous, didn't panic. Delivered it perfectly. Like
no bag of chips.
No bag of chips. Yeah, no bag of chips. See, that counts too, bro. If we're going to take him seriously, and I love Hook. I'm a big fan of Hooks too. But the chips does make a difference, dude. Absolutely, for sure.
Yes. Know when to eat a bag of chips and when not to.
Exactly. It was nice that a dog randomly ran past, though. What the fuck?
Hey, that's just real life. They're just
Right.
filming this.
The main streets of New York
Red Hook.
City, right?
Yeah. So, all right. So the main event is a casino gauntlet tag team match. And of course, the makeshift team of Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher will win from basically the starting position.
We all knew this. I mean, it was dead
obvious. In full disclosure, I didn't watch this match. It was so long, I just skipped right to the end. I don't care what teams came out.
So. I don't blame you. And it was long. And look, I've seen worse. What do they call it again? The
Casino Gauntlet Tag Team Match.
Battle Royale, whatever the fuck, right?
Tag Team Royale.
Yeah. But it wasn't too bad. Look, I popped with the Outrunners coming out because the whole place went wild, bro. Like when they came out and their song hit, and I love their tune too, the place just went bananas. Even when MXM came out, the place went bananas. But I will say that the Outrunners were the most over, surely. Except for Ospreay and fucking and Aussie Ospreay. I just hate the obvious. Like, I hate the predictability of AEW. Once they put them two as a team, you knew they were going to win. Then again, they might have been thinking, people might think they're going to turn on each other. They didn't. They nowhere near did. And they looked like they were ready to fuck after the match. They were rolling all over the ring, dude, on each other like idiots, straight out. But it is what it is.
Well, I can't wait to see that match against the Young Bucks, boy. Let me tell you, that's going to be an all-time classic.
It'll be a fucking headache, 100%. Literally, a headache.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was Dynamite.
Did we survive? No burn marks?
Maybe. And all we got as a follow-up to what we saw, obviously, Swerve can't be anywhere near here. He's basically dead, right?
Swerve, man. Again, I hate how they do this, bro.
Well, look, you can't just get injected in your mouth and then come to work a few days later.
I can.
Oh,
yeah, true. I guess it's so much of
this isn't work. This is just a podcast. But
they're just, do fuck you, AEW. Do better, man. Jesus Christ, stop doing this shit. I wonder why they and people tuned in too.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah, Zane. I used to watch Saturday Night back in the day, like when it was half decent before Nitro, here and there, and even then I didn't like it. So fuck no. Afterwards.
Yeah, what's the relevance of that question? I guess let's move on to Rampage. There was no notable Ring of Honor action this week, so
you can skip through the whole round. There was nothing notable that happened on Rampage, bro.
Okay. Well, like I was saying, there's nothing notable that happened on Ring of Honor because some of these people make crossovers.
That's true.
But nothing. Just nothing. All right. Now, but as for Rampage, they had the conglomeration taking on the Dark Order, and this went to picture-in-picture. I was like, please.
Really? I actually didn't watch Rampage. But
you can't put this, you can't just put this away in a couple of whatever.
Dark Order is something to them, it seems, bro.
Sorry?
Did they wrestle the Dark Order, you said, right?
Yeah.
That's why, because it's a Dark Order. To them, there's something, there's still a big deal, maybe. Who knows?
But they're not.
I know, but
Still, I mean, well, whatever. The Underground Kings confront the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. We got a Camille match. She wrestled Robin Renegade. And
I guess it was a squash. What's wrong? How bad was it? Now I'm intrigued. Tell me, please.
Man,
what happened?
I want to look. I'm trying to like Camille. Okay,
is she that sloppy still in the ring, dude?
Bro,
really?
I just don't. What is happening?
She's always been sloppy, but no shit, like that bad. Damn. I guess she is. Wow.
Anyway, here's where we get an interesting. Christopher Daniels challenges Lil Brooks Jensen for some reason.
Yeah. Why?
He's like, I didn't forget what it's like to be a wrestler. I'm a wrestler, and I'm gonna teach you a lesson or whatever.
So that was the backstory of why that match happened on Collision.
Because he cut one promo. That's the backstory
on a show that nobody actually watches.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Zane says UGK was. I know that was. I always call them the Underground Kings. Like what are the Undisputed Kingdom? Is that what their names are? Tall Ace Austin with Mickey Mouse gloves and the guy with the backwards hat and the wife.
It was Pimp C and Bum B. That's who the UGK, the real UGK is.
All right. Next was Roderick Strong versus Beef.
Who?
Beef.
Who's Beef? Really?
I wanted to transition into another rap reference, but anyway, no. Okay. Well, you've heard of you remember JD Drake?
Yeah.
And he had a partner, Anthony Henry, right?
Right. That's Beef.
So I don't know where JD Drake went. But some other fat guy showed up and started hanging out with Anthony Henry, and they're saying as a gimmick it's his cousin. Now I don't know if it's his actual cousin. But anyway, he's a gimmick cousin. And anyway, if you haven't seen this guy.
I remember now. No, I do. I know who it is now.
Okay.
I think.
So, anyway, I'm looking at this guy and I'm watching it. First of all, I'm not really watching the match, but the match is on. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I've skipped all their stuff. When I go through Ring of Honor, because that's where this is from. It's a Ring of Honor storyline, this Beef guy coming in to hang out with Anthony Henry. So I'm just like not watching this. And then when I have this match on with Roderick Strong going through a commercial break with this guy, and this guy getting more offense on Roderick Strong is one of the more selfish wrestlers I've seen in wrestling in many years. He always takes like 85% of the match, it feels like. He doesn't sell anything, even though he weighs like 150 pounds. Like he refuses to sell. And like in this match, Beef was like beating his ass for like so much time. It was an uncomfortably long amount of time, and I was on fast forward. So I can only imagine what it felt like in real time. So like, anyway, I'm looking at this guy, Beef, in the ring, and I'm like, you had Zicky Dice there, and you didn't do anything with him.
Wow.
So why am I having to settle for the budget Zicky Dice? You know what I mean? Like, what? Anyway, eventually, Roderick Strong beats him with a flying knee. He didn't even try to get this fat fuck up for the end of Heartache. He's just like, nah, fuck it. You're taking a knee.
Was that the main event?
No.
Oh.
No, it actually wasn't. We got a lot of action on this Rampage.
Really?
Yeah, there's more matches on this Rampage than I think was on Raw on Monday. So then we got a promo from the Righteous, which I'm sure everybody's excited for, but I just skip right past.
Right.
Then we got Saraya and Harley Cameron versus the Hex. You remember the Hex, right,
Hex.
Jimmy?
The Hex? Which one's the Hex?
Marty Bell and that other one, Allison Kay.
Oh, yeah, I know who Alison Kay is. I can't tell you who Mighty Bell is unless I see her, but I
You
guess
remember her from the
Saraya.
Dollhouse. She's the one from the Dollhouse that wasn't Mia Yim.
Oh, yes. Well, in saying that,
He doesn't know.
I don't know. I actually don't know. But in saying that, I'm assuming that Saraya and her Aussie friend win in Cameron.
Oh yeah. And then who came out but Jamie Hayter? Jamie Hayter came out
Rampage?
dressed like Austin Powers' couch. So
So this big return of Jamie Hayter's just accumulated to Rampage now. Is that what's happening with her?
yeah,
Wow.
man, we got to get those eyes on Friday nights.
Jesus Christ, man. That's pretty sad. But anyway,
And that's not the main
Yeah.
event either.
oh, come on, bro. That's 3 matches now.
3? What? That's wait,
Or
1,
4. How many
2,
was it?
3, 4, and then a 5th match. The main event.
Yeah, in 1 hour? 1 hour? Really?
Hey, man, if only everybody could have this pacing. So,
Wow.
yeah, match number 5, your main event. Konosuke Takeshita versus Action Andretti. I know. You're on pins and needles wondering who won this match, right? Like
Well, it was pretty obvious.
you want me to tell you, like you're begging for the
Tell me,
result.
please. Tell me the result, please.
It was
Takeshita, right?
Yeah, it was Takeshita. Yeah, of course. What, you kidding me? Action Andretti hasn't won a match since Chris Jericho.
Yeah, you know what? That probably no shit. I don't remember him winning any matches after that, except for trios matches, I guess.
Yeah, maybe in Ring of Honor they
One or
won a
two.
trios
Oh,
match
well,
against
that-
some job guys.
I don't watch that shit anymore. But yeah, well, Takeshita. But see, Rampage just feels everything's for nothing, bro. Like there's no, except for Christopher Daniels, I guess. That was the only thing that really bled into Collision. As we talk about that,
Zane says Action Andretti was due. Yeah, well,
well,
so are the
apparently he's on
Washington
way now.
Generals, but they just can't
Okay.
seem to pull it out. You know.
Are they literally that bad?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
What do you care about sport anyway?
that reference is so far over Jimmy's head, it's gone
I
all the
know.
way
See, I
back
don't
around
get
the
that
globe and
reference.
back to me.
I'm not. What's the reference? I know a lot of American references, but Jesus, that one I don't understand.
All right, so the Harlem Globetrotters are a
Right, I know
work.
the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, well, they always play the Washington Generals basketball team.
Oh, okay, all right. When they come here, they always play like an Australian team. So,
Really?
okay,
The Australian Generals.
It's not cool. It'd be funny if it is. Now I'll get the joke, but
right.
clearly I don't watch the Harlem Globetrotters every time they play in the US.
All right. So anyway, that was Rampage, a 5-match Rampage. They
That's a lot,
rampaged
man.
all over that hour, and got us
That's
all the way to Collision. They did zero business from All Out, obviously. Like
That's why
I
I'm asking, like,
think
why
any one of these people was on there.
why was Hayter like being
Even
treated this
Camille,
way?
it's like she was banned from All Out, so she couldn't.
Yeah, was money's too good for fucking Rampage? So I'm not even
she
gonna
ain't
ask
going
that,
to
right?
Rampage.
But she was on Rampage, wasn't she? A couple of weeks ago, I think.
Well, not this Rampage.
Right, not this one, but she was on once, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I mean, if you're there, like, because
Why
you're
not,
doing the
right?
taping, right? So,
True, might as well.
all right, Collision time. Short Bus Brooks versus Christopher Daniels to start us off. And so what I was saying is we're getting a theme here. What you're seeing here, they are burning through every guy that's smaller than Jack Perry. Pretty soon they're not going to have any more. There's only so many guys that are this small, and then he's going to run out of dudes.
I was going to ask you, what are you alluding to? But it doesn't matter now. Why is Daniels?
We'll
even
talk
still
about
there?
that too. We'll mention that later too.
Oh yeah, actually, we'll get to that. But yeah, Well, this match went a little too long, don't you think?
How would I know? I wasn't watching this. You think I'm gonna watch
Well.
a little Brooks Jensen match? I ain't watching none of this guy's matches, dude.
Come on.
I am protesting all of this guy's matches. I'm not watching this guy's matches.
He was in WWE not too long ago, wasn't he? Wasn't Jensen though? Really, he was, wasn't he? Like, if I remember, in NXT, I think.
I'm talking about Jack Perry, man.
Oh fuck, man. Sorry. Yeah, fuck Jack Perry. He did turn up with his blue bus again, man. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, not blue, but I call it blue bus, but it's back.
Yeah, this match happened for no reason. I ain't watching it out of protest. Moving on. All right, Lexi catches Wheeler Yuta. He's very what?
There was blood.
Oh,
you know? Great. Yeah, Daniels was busted open, little scratch on the forehead.
Oh, okay. I thought Jack Perry had his period or something.
Oh well, they could.
I was gonna say, how could you tell with those black leather pants? But
he could have been that. He was wiping it all over himself for crying out loud all the time. But whatever.
I ain't watching it. So Wheeler Yuta's a little bit despondent here. She tries to ask him, what's up with Brian, and he ends up repeating himself, and he's kind of sad, and he's got a match.
Like, what? What'd you say again?
What was the question?
Yeah.
Poor Wheeler.
Damn, did him crying like a girl, literally, on the pay-per-view, has totally. I don't know. Is it supposed to make people care about him even more? Like, for me, it's just like, wow, look at you, child.
Everybody's just dead. Well, I think most people are just going to think what we thought, which is like, well, why don't you just bite his face if he's holding you?
I know, but why didn't Daniels actually rip the bag? I digress.
All right, so it's the Conglomogram versus the Beast Athletes.
The Beast Athletes in.
That's right. So, obviously this is amazing, right?
Amazing. Actually, It was kind of entertaining. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Well, you got Mark Briscoe and Hologram there.
Yeah, look, it wasn't
actually Kyle O'Reilly, kind of. Yeah, he's fine.
You know what? I did say this was the match of the night, believe it or not.
Match of the night. This gets the match of the night stamp from Jimmy T.
Possibly. Well, there's one too many trios matches on this damn show every week.
If you just said that Collision was just the trios only show, then
cool.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They don't say that. No, they don't.
Right. But week in, week out, we get minimum 3 trios matches on one show. Minimum.
Mm-hmm. And this was another one. But, so Hologram, of course, is going to pick up the win here for the team. But then that one guy, what's that guy? The Beast guy? What's his name? Yeah. Yeah, he gets a little personal with Hologram. Looks like he
does.
He's smelling another luchador. Like he's like, hey.
Wait. What animal is he sniffing this time, actually?
Well, I don't know if it's an animal or whatever, but he's like, I smell Aramis.
Aramis. Well, does he smell Taurus?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if he checks under his arms.
You know what? Mortos always is growing on me every time I see him. I don't know what his problem is. He's got problems. He's becoming a bully, bro, and I like it. I want him to just growl his way to the championship. Why not?
Yeah. He just growls and then the person leaves their belt on the floor and just forfeits.
Yeah. He reminds me of King from Tekken. You know how he doesn't actually talk? He's just yeah, that's what he reminds me of, man. So I don't know if they got, that from Tekken by any chance. Someone was a Tekken fan and they saw that. But I kind of like, I don't know why Mortos is growing on me, but he's cracking me up right now, dude.
Yeah. Well, he's figured it out. He knows what to do now. He basically, but it seems like this is a good gimmick though, where it's like he keeps being on random teams, and then they lose. And then he like takes it out on not his team, but like the other team that beat him.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you didn't beat me, you know?
Oh, man,
Or even that match
like,
he had nothing to do with. Like he had nothing to do with Ricochet and Sammy Guevara, but he still attacked
Nothing,
Ricochet
bro.
afterwards.
But like you said, he and then that's what
right.
happened.
That's what happened. All right. The next
Love
thing
it,
that
man.
happens is that the they show some clips from, speaking of luchadors, they show some clips from CMLL where Chris Jericho went down there for their big 91st anniversary show to have a 2 out of 3 falls match with Mystico, who's number 10 on the PWI 500, by the way. And
what
then
the fuck is up with that?
And then he apparently Orange Cassidy came in to help out his good friend Mystico. And so that happened at CMLL, and then here's Orange Cassidy, and then the Learning Tree beats up Orange Cassidy now.
As they should.
Because obviously the rest of the conglomeration was just out there having a match, so they took advantage of a lone Orange.
Oh man, look, whatever. I'm assuming Orange will win this feud, but something tells me I wouldn't be surprised if Jericho ends up beating him whenever they wrestle at, I guess, Grand Slam. Apparently, and like Revamp said, it's compelling television. Trust me, it was. Actually, was.
Storyline continuing. It's a long-term storytelling.
Yeah. Who says they don't know long-term storytelling? 4 years, boys.
He hasn't forgiven him for that jacket, even though he paid him back in change. That didn't save the jacket, and it ruined the Bentley. So,
man, imagine the scratches from all those coins.
Yeah, terrible.
Can they just put cement through it at least?
Now he owes him another $7,000.
Yeah, 100%.
So then they show some vignette of somebody watching DVDs.
Did I miss this vignette? Who was watching the DVDs?
I'm not sure. You look like a
I might have walked out for a split second because I don't remember the DVDs.
It was a bald guy. Could have been Stokely Hathaway. Could have been.
Oh wait, was he watching Nightingale?
Was he? I don't remember what was on.
I can't remember. I think he was. I know who watches DVDs anymore. Jeez.
This guy.
It probably is Stokely. Well, I mean, who else could it be? I think I do recall it now that I think back on it. But whatever, we'll see where that goes. Because let's not talk about that match again at All Out or All In, whatever. All Out.
Let's not. Lexi is with the Glamour. And then Yuka Sakazaki's back.
Yay. Actually,
she's been gone. She's been gone, Jimmy. Yuka Sakazaki's been gone for. This isn't a match, by the way. This is a backstage.
No, later on, but yeah.
Yeah. So. No, the next.
No, are you happy for Yuka? I just wanted to quickly ask.
Yes, I'm ecstatic.
Okay.
Next match is Wheeler Yuta versus Anthony Henry. You know, the beef cousin.
This went way too long, bro.
Yeah.
This went a couple of commercials, I think.
I was thinking when I was watching this, like, okay, so the first thing based on everything that happened is Yuta's got a snap on him. And I was like, that's the whole story. Well, he did. Sort of. Yeah. He did snap on him, but it took way too long, like you just said. Nobody wants to wait to see all that. It shouldn't take that. Like, by the time he finally snapped, he should have been too tired and beaten up to snap. He should have just gave up.
Oh, nah. Dude, please. He turned into Danielson with the kicks and everything.
Yeah.
Please.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know who tells these kids what, but.
Yeah, I know. Look, man, like I said, how am I supposed to take Yuta serious again? Not that I ever have, but if anything, after his little crying session, you know what I'm saying? So, and who he beat does nothing for him.
Well, here's a problem. Much like Daniel Garcia, You tried to force Wheeler Yuta on us. You tried to make us think that he's a credible wrestler or like a credible badass, because we know he's a wrestler already. But I mean,
Right.
you put him with the Combat Club guys. Then you try to push him. Then you give him the pure championship, and then you focus on him like he's just equal to these guys. And then you try to do this story. Well, if you wanted to do this right, the whole time he was with the Combat guys, he should have been the guy eating all the pins. He should have been the guy getting beaten up by his own teammates, like they kind of did, but not really. They didn't.
A little bit, right?
They didn't commit to it.
Right.
They just half-assed did it, and then made it seem like he was on their level. Now, if you had done this whole thing where you basically used him as a doormat, or like a dog that gets kicked, like a puppy that got kicked or whatever, and then after all that, then you choke out Danielson in front of him. Then he does this type thing at this match where he finally loses it. Now the people are going to be with it because they've been wanting him to do this the whole time, and then he hasn't done it. And Anthony Henry's not the guy to do this on, because Anthony Henry has had nothing to do with anybody this entire time. It should have been a complete smug douchebag heel that is like taking advantage of Yuta because he's not in the right headspace of this. Right. And then the first time he tries to do some dirty tactic or whatever, that's what causes Yuta to snap, and then he fucks him up. You could even have Yuta disqualified for not listening to the referee and bludgeoning this person.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's how you would have done the story you wanted to do. Instead, you did this. So you kind of got the idea right, but you did everything leading up to it wrong because you have no foresight whatsoever.
No foresight, and never have. Again, it's frustrating, bro. They continuously do this. They don't know how to think, man. They don't know the fundamentals yet still in professional wrestling, which is bizarre to me.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental way of getting someone over. It's easy, right? Like you said, treat him like the old dog yellow, right? Like you're about to shoot him in the back. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they don't do it.
If you book like there's no tomorrow, then what are you going to do when tomorrow comes?
True. It's a good way of putting it, actually. Booking like there's no tomorrow. I wonder why. Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah, so that happened. And then we get Lexi with Serena Deeb and Queen Aminata. Deeb says the offer from last time still stands. Like, you can still, like, I'll still give you my advice. And Queen's like, whatever. And Anna Jay's back from Japan. That list of people that I was saying that is smaller than Jack Perry, she's not one of them.
It's definitely not one of them. You know what? I forgot all about it, dude, which is a shame. Not.
Yeah, she was out there doing the Stardom G1 or whatever it's called.
Well, I hope she's improved, dude, for her sake. I mean, she was slowly improving the last time I saw it.
Very slowly.
But we'll see. Very slowly. I mean, I think her looks really saves her in this company, pretty much. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, we're not watching for the wrist locks.
Clearly not. I mean, she's a good-looking girl, bro. Like that, she's probably the best-looking. Arguably, she's definitely one of the best-looking ones there. I mean, shit.
Well, okay. Next match is Commander Party versus Ring of Honor.
Commander Party. Why are these guys a thing? Like, what's that? When did they become a thing? Like, why?
Just now, right here.
I think Commander was with another team, I think a week ago or something. I don't know, bro. Cool. Private Party is becoming a public party for them these days, dude. It's just not working, bro. It's just
everyone's invited.
Everyone's invited except for them, it seems. Like
party in your mouth and everybody's coming.
Yuck. Oh yeah, no. Look, bad for parties. Put it that way. They're not doing any well with parties. And Revamped, I believe Anna Jay is still with Jack Perry, unfortunately.
Yeah, imagine that. God, that poor woman.
You better have something than And no one else has. I'll tell you that. Put it that way.
Someone else has got it. She's
I'm
probably
sure
over
they
there
do.
in Japan with some guys that got it.
Well, I don't know, but yeah.
It is all speculation for the sake of entertainment. All right, so Tony Schiavone asked Nigel about Grand Slam, like, well, what's the deal? You getting the match or not? And he's like, I don't know. All right, now it's Serena Deeb versus Yuka Sakazaki. And Mariah May goes to the desk for commentary.
This was brilliant, dude. The commentating on this match was some of the best I ever heard, period. But it was awkward as well.
Yes, I agree. On both counts. Yeah,
It was very
Mariah
awkward.
May finally, actually being funny for a
She
change.
fucking cracked me up, bro. She's, man.
Yeah, she
Those
was
stiff
saying like
comments-
Yuka was 10 years old. Tony was like, she's like, Tony was like, she had a 10-year career, and she's like, she's 10 years old.
I mean, she does look kind of 10 years old. But what's even funny is her flirting with Tony and especially Nigel, though. Like,
Right.
the way she was flirting with Nigel, and she's like, oh, Nigel, you're very stiff, I hear. Like,
In the ring.
yeah, in the ring, right? And then Shivani's like, I'll cut it out. Like, seriously, he's just like, stop the bullshit. But the way they were all playing off of each other was so, like, it impressed me. I'm not going to lie. Especially when they said about Tony needing to go to the bathroom. That made me laugh. But, yeah, look, this is probably the most entertaining thing about this whole show so far for me. I'm not going to lie. This was funny.
Probably so.
Yawn, Vent.
Yeah. Yuka Sakazaki wins with the magical girl splash, and
which is a shame. Oh, can I ask? I noticed on Serena Deeb's backside there was Arab writing. What's the meaning of that? Does she have Arab in her?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
really? So she does.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that makes sense. Now that I think about it, she kind of does look like she has Arabic in her. That's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to know the significance of that because I was thinking, why would she have that? Unless she had some sort of Arab in her. Yalla to Serena Deeb.
Yes.
Literally.
So, yeah, anyway, so after Yuka wins the match, Mariah tries to attack her, but she gets kicked in the face. So.
And then she rolls around like an idiot.
Yeah, don't mess with the magical girl. Don't go messing with the magical girl.
Well, wasn't she a genie at first?
I mean, I think that's what people assumed, but
yeah, she was.
Well,
like
how are you
saying
supposed
she
to
was
get
genie.
over? How are you supposed to get over in a wrestling gear that you're a magical girl? You got to kind of dress like a genie a little bit.
She used to really dress like a genie. Remember her like puffy pants that she was wearing at one stage? Like, I mean, they're kind of really puffy, man. Like genie-esque.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes genies don't even have a lower body. It's just like the wisp of smoke that comes out of
True,
the
that
lamp.
actually is a good point.
So who knows
actually
what they
very-
wear?
Just flame, sort of, or smoke, sorry.
Yeah, so anyway, then we get a VHS style Outrunners video. So very funny. Then Action
great.
Andretti rallies the airline together. He's like, hey,
yeah.
you guys are over here talking about food? And he's like,
Points to the truck.
yeah, look at House of Black's on a truck. We should be on a truck or something. Or a plane.
Please. It make more sense being on the plane. Absolutely. And he wasn't even dressed like a pilot. I mean, when did these guys get out of their wrestling gear and get into like fighter jet gear now? Where was their jet? Where were they flying to, more importantly?
I don't know. They probably parked it somewhere else that was so far away that the camera couldn't reach. So they had to wait till they got closer to the building. Yeah. I don't know, man. What do you want?
Fair enough.
All right. Speaking of what do you want, Team Jayless versus the Cage of Agony. I'll tell you what I wanted. Not this match.
Nah, unfortunately.
Hey, and wouldn't you know, they beat Brian Cage.
Oh, surprise, surprise. I mean, come on. These Gates of Agony, they must be feeling a lot of agony, dude. I feel bad for all three of those guys. Must be agonizing.
Yeah. In a cage.
In the cage, right.
All right. So Queen Aminata gloats at Serena Deeb, like, is that how you do it? And then she goes out and has a match with Robin Renegade, and she goes over, and then Serena attacks her in the ring. How dare you mouth off to the professor?
Yeah. I was happy to see this. Only because it made me get over her loss earlier a bit better.
She got her heat back.
Right. If you want to call it that, yeah.
Yeah.
But she did. It made you forget.
At least it wasn't the same person that beat her in the match.
No, right.
We'll talk about that in a second. Because
Right.
first we get a House of Black promo, and then we get our real main event. Jimmy, it's a regular tag match, not a 6-person, not an 8-person, not a 10-person, a 4-person.
Wow.
AKA a tag match.
Nevertheless, it's FTR that always features in this main event for some reason. If it's a 3-way, 8-way, 2-way, 5-way, 4-way, FTR is always involved.
FTR versus GYV. And I said OMG GTFO.
Yep. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, though? Hey, I'll give it a chance. I'll watch it. And I was like, how long can these guys go before the power of the phone takes over? And
bro,
I'm watching it, and it's about right around the first commercial break where James Drake is up on the top rope, and Hollywood Axe the Axe Axon is like slowly climbing up to the top rope behind him, and they're like gently setting up on the top rope with like making sure that they're sure-footed, make sure that they're standing on the buckle correctly, just ever so gently, just positioning themselves up there. No violence, no struggle, just like a dainty, okay, we're both standing up on the top now. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, let's go. And then belly to back off the top for a break spot. We got to go to break. Like,
so what was all that for? For nothing.
Dude.
Well, you know what? I went to the restroom right after that, like around that spot. I came back and the match was over and I assumed FTR won.
Wow. How long were you were you sick? How long were you in the bathroom? Because this shit went on for 15 minutes.
I was in there for no shit, probably 6 minutes.
So no shit, man. 6 minutes. All right.
Yeah. No shit, no, 6 minutes.
But yeah,
because it was gone, man.
They did everything in the world, bro. They did that spot. I said, the guy Drake again. He completely whiffed a wheel kick, and I want to say it was Cash Cashin took a bump. No, it was Axe. Like he took a bump even though the kick missed, and then that was the hot tag spot too, to duck the kick and go under and tag. But you already missed this kick twice, so it just looks stupid. They had an anticlimactic finish where he just put him in a sharpshooter and tapped out.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. He just they were just having this back and forth match with no heat, no story, no nothing. It's just a bunch of guys that are like unlimited double teaming, however they feel like, no tagging. Referees just like, I give up. They're just doing moves to each other. Nobody's really selling it. FTR can't just sell. They got to always fight back. So the heels can't ever get any heat on them. And just all this shit. And then all of a sudden he just puts him in a sharpshooter and James Drake just taps out. So then after that, then Gibson comes back in and attacks everybody. And it's like, so now, even though you guys have just had a 50-50 tag team match and you've just been fighting on equal footing, now, just because right after the heels lose, this guy's in so much pain that he quit the match. But now you guys are going to go beat up FTR. Well, you had the whole match to do that. If it was that easy, why didn't you just beat them up real quick and beat them at the start? Why do we have to sit through 15 minutes of this bullshit? And then they have to get saved by the Outrunners of all people.
What?
Who come out here. They come out. Exactly. So clearly Jimmy didn't watch. So he's finding out about this.
I walked out, walked in, and it was over, man.
Yeah, okay.
You know me, I can't stand. I hate FTR as it is already. I cannot stand the grizzled young veterans, bro, at all.
So they basically come in and they save FTR, even though it's a 2-on-2. They still come out and save FTR and run off the the veterans, and then, you know, they want to do the big, you know, Arnold and Carl Weathers Predator, you son of a bitch hand clasp thing,
Yeah,
and
I love that. Come
then
on.
FTR just leaves them hanging and everybody boos, and then but then FTR comes back and gives it to them and everybody's happy, and then they pose.
Oh, that's all right, I guess. See, look
Yeah.
at you, FTR, even riding on their coattails for crying out loud.
Now look, we both put over the Outrunners already, right? But this is not the spot, because you treated these guys like a joke, that the only people they can beat is other jabronis, and then they come in to make a save on what are supposed to be competitive tag teams, and it's not even a situation where FTR is outnumbered. It's 2-2, and FTR won the match. So if James Drake is so hurt that he quit, if he's so hurt that he quit, why is he now up and just beating people up that just beat him? You see what I'm saying? Like, and then
He's tough, bro.
yeah, sure he is. And then so not tough enough to win a match, but tough enough to attack somebody that just made him quit. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Tough.
And then we need the joke babyface team to come in and save our asses.
Don't you know, this is, I was talking to Cash and Hollywood Daxton, whatever, the other day, and they were telling me we're going to put these guys over, and that's how they did it. That's how you do it, bro. That's how you put guys over, bro. By saving them, even though I was 2-on-2, like, you know? That's how you put teams over in AEW. Now they're made men, according to Hollywood Dax and the Axe Smash, whatever, man. They're made men now.
Well, good. We'll see what happens.
We'll
see if they can win a match against an established team.
Which is not going to happen. You know that. We both know that. I hope we're wrong, but, you know, that's not the case.
We're not wrong. Aaron Bench says, man, why FTR is considered the best tag team in the world when they suck? Well, because nobody knows what tag team wrestling is.
Yeah.
They might appear to know what somebody's doing to people that hear other people praise them over and over again. Dude,
truly think they're the shit, man.
That spot I was telling you about earlier, where they're like gently setting up for a belly to back off the top.
They do that in all matches, bro. Actually,
yeah. Let a team that Jim Cornette doesn't like do that. See what he says about it. But if he talks about one of their matches where they do the same thing, he's gonna skip over that part, because people just have narratives. Look.
Yeah.
If you come to HMG, I can't guarantee you that there's no narratives here. I can only tell you that I do my best to be fair and give credit where it's deserved. You know I don't like Jon Moxley, but I said he did an A+ promo on Dynamite. That's an example of me being fair. I don't care what I've said about you in the past. Every day is a new day for you to do it right. So last week, by the end of the show, when we did the wreckage, I was all out of muffins. I needed an entire bakery full of muffins. I didn't have any. But I'm not going to hold that against them. I wiped that week clean. This is a new week.
Right, exactly.
So now I'm talking about this week. This week, At least they didn't offend me as much as last week, but it's kind of a lot of And we ended this show with, you took a team that I do like, the Outrunners, and you put them in a spot they don't belong in. That's not the Outrunners' fault, but you put them where they don't belong. So right. I'm telling you, I'm burying this spot, even though I like the people in it, because you didn't do it right. Or if I'm talking about Wheeler Yuta and I'm saying what they should have done with him over the course of time, like, I don't care about Wheeler Yuta, but I'm giving you what was right for him and what was right for his character. So when you listen to other people talk about wrestling, most of the time, they're just going to play their favorites. And I'm just telling you, even though I have my favorites, I'm going to tell you when they shit the bed, and I'm going to tell you that when the people I don't like do a good job. That's my promise to you guys. That's my integrity. I would hope Jimmy does the same. I hope everybody does the same. But
for sure, man.
It's all a matter of staying with the perspective. You have to keep the perspective. To bring it all back to what we talked about at the start of the show, keep everything in the proper perspective. Look at the whole picture. See how it all fits. Make your own decisions. Don't just listen to me say it. think about what I say and then think about it yourself and then come to your conclusions. That's all I can do. I can just put it out there for you and you can do with it what you will. But some people's narrative to answer the question is that FTR is the best tag team in the world. And if they are, it's only because the bar has fallen so low that this is what the best tag team in the world looks like. I can't tell you any better tag teams because every tag team is terrible because the art of tag team wrestling is in the toilet. And it has been for a long time. There's no tag teams left. Nobody's doing good tag teams anymore. Nobody has good tag team divisions. I'm sorry, but it's sad. Maybe one day we can get things back on track, but today ain't that day.
Maybe even tomorrow's not that day, but hopefully one day. But yeah, spot on, Vet, man. You hit the nail on the head as you always do, bro. And I think that leaves us to say we sifted through the wreckage, dude. Through the AEW wreckage, finally we did it. So in saying that, man, please tell them what you're doing and where they can find you.
Opinion Haver, social media platform. Big Ray, Next Level, Wednesdays. Impact Attack, Brandon, Mondays. Rip Rogers Q&A. Stevie Rich's show. JTG's YouTube channel.
Man, you got too fast.
RBV's betting show. I don't know. Some other stuff.
I think that does cover it. That does cover it with you anyway. That I'm trying to find if there's anything you're missing. But yeah, go check out all those great shows. And remember what I said earlier. Try and help out Rip Rogers, because he does really need surgery. He doesn't ask for much. He never wants to ask anybody for any sort of hand me out. But he really needs everybody to, pull through with him and get the surgery done. He's not getting any younger, obviously, and neither are all of us. So please go and help him out. At I don't have the website. I need to find the website though, Vet, for it. But
yeah,
it's a GoFundMe page.
Just Google Rip Rogers GoFundMe, you'll find it.
Right. So yeah, most importantly, do that. If you want to follow me, you can at DJ Mass Effects right there, and also at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com with $5 and you get the best, but the realest talking all of wrestling. Also, right here at Media Group's YouTube channel, where I please, say once again, I say this all the time now, like and subscribe, pass it on, share it. Please get us to 1,000 subscribers. That will really mean the world to us. So don't be shy in sharing it or liking or disliking it for that matter. Whatever it is, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Just do it. It really helps us out a lot. Also at hummingmediagroup.popping.com for all our affiliate shows. And that's a wrap from me. So in saying that, I just want to say one more thing. Thank you to everyone.
You got any other stuff? You got any other shows, Jimmy?
Oh, shit, I do. See, I'm a bit tired, dude. Thank you for reminding me. Also, if you love your WWE Wrestling Raw, well, I've got the show for you because we all like a Raw right here at Humming Media Group. And that is I Like a Raw with myself and Big Ray Hernandez, where every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, we Like a Raw, where we review Monday Night Raw every week, Tuesday mornings, right here and exclusively on the Humming Media Group YouTube channel. So look out for that. And of course, the Smack Attack with myself and John Enright. And then we go full circle to right here next week, when we and the Vet sift through the AEW wreckage, which, it's been a lot of wreckage in the last 2 weeks. But at least I didn't get hurt this time, Vet. That's all that matters, bro. I'm not wearing the bandage. Yeah, right. I felt that syringe coming through my TV and just jabbed me right in the forehead. But anyway, in saying that, thank you everyone for joining us. I am Jimmy T. That is the Vet, Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching the AEW wreckage right here on channelattitude.com and Humming Media Group. And we're out. Peace.